This week on Stogie Geeks, we're going to talk about a new cutter, some new release cigars, glass top humidors, seco tobacco leaves, 2 cigars in the same box that you can't smoke. Well, you can't really get them to smoke. We'll talk about those. Viaje Summerfest. I stole a fan mail post from this other blog, and one of the things they talk about I thought was interesting, and that is, what is the purpose of cigar bans, and what's the history behind them? Dry boxing cigars, a New York smoking ban in state-owned parks, and more, all on this episode of the Stogie Geeks Show.
This is Security Weekly, for security professionals, by security professionals. Broadcasting live from G-Unit Studios in Rhode Island, it's the show where cigars burn slow, ashes fall fast, and cocktails flow steady. It's the Stogie Geek Show. Welcome, everyone, to the Stogie Geek Show. Joe and I are already silly.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Hozempa, a.k.a. Joe Hollywood, is here with me in studio.
I'm fired up. So we also have Remote Drew, who is remote over in Texas. Look at you. You got some Stogie Geek swag going on in the background.
Got my banner.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm all set up for the Stogie Geek mobile lounge.
Confidence. Confidence isn't walking into a room with your nose in the air, thinking you're better than anyone else. It's walking into a room and not having to compare yourself to anyone in the first place.
Plasencia Cigars, perfected for more than 150 years. Yours to enjoy now.
Havana Cigar Club, located in Warwick, Rhode Island, is a great place to enjoy a drink and a cigar. Stogie Geeks listeners can find a $5 off coupon on our website by clicking the HCC logo.
Welcome, everyone, to the Stogie Geek Show. I'm your host, Paul Asadorian, taking a break from firmware security, talking about cigars, stogies, humidors, and all sorts of things related to this wonderful addiction hobby that we have.
Community, baby. It's a
Mr.
community.
Joe Hozempa is here with us. Joe, welcome.
How are you?
I'm good, man.
Good to see you.
We're on the Stogie Geek Show. Life is good.
I'm excited.
Jason Albuquerque
I
is here
am
with
so
us.
excited to be here today. You have no idea. I made you guys have some willpower.
You did.
I forced you into willpower, and I love every minute of it.
We should
Gave you guys big hugs for that. I'm proud of you.
Right into it. You know, I didn't even. I was so excited to smoke this cigar. I forgot to put anything in the notes about what this cigar is.
Well, I'm glad you're excited, but we are
I
smoking
assumed that you had it.
100%,
Okay, good.
my friend, 100%. So Tatuaje RC Series number 1. This is the infamous cigar that you fellas made me hunt. You gave me a challenge and asked me to hunt the cigar, and I had a compadre in Germany who was able to send me 20 of these bad boys. So Axel, thank you so much, my friend. But yeah, we're smoking the infamous RC Series number 1. So Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, Nicaraguan filler, 4 3/4, and 52 ring gauge, baby.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm just trying to pay attention to the flavors, which I tend to not do as often as I should. It's got like a little sour note to it. Are you getting that too?
A little bit,
especially
yeah.
on the retrohale.
Yeah,
It's got a sour note
a little
to
bit.
it.
Yeah.
Now, I won't pretend to like go through all the earthy, spicy stuff yet, but it does have some of the notes that I pick up on from the original RC series cigars. It has some of those notes, but to me, and we were joking before the show, like I'm gonna say that I hate the cigar so I can get all of them when I really don't hate it. But that sour note, like, is really, it's throwing me off.
Yeah, I dig it though. I like it. I'm getting a little bit of oaky type flavor as well, but I don't know if it's the scotch or the cigar.
No, that's a profile of that RC series that
Yeah.
I'm picking up on. You could describe that as oaky, certainly, but it's got the retrohale. It's got this sour note to it that I'm not digging.
No? No. So I kinda
The
like
draw.
it.
I tell you
kinda
what,
like it.
the draw on this
Is
is freaking
impeccable.
amazing. It's you guys like this is a pretty. I would say on the looser side.
Yep.
So if you're the kind of person, cigar smoker, where you don't like that,
Yeah.
this one's not.
If you
for
like
you.
a tight draw, yeah.
Everyone has their like sweet spot for draw.
Yeah.
Mine does tend to be on the kind of looser side.
Same here.
And I like a lot more smoke. I'm on the side of I want a lot of smoke production. I want to feel like I'm smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
I like lots of smoke. I like those. There was a Drew Estate cigar that was it wasn't a flying pig, but it was like a larger version of the flying pig. Now I can't think of what it is because I think I smoked them all. But that thing produced the most smoke out of any cigar I think I may have ever had in my life.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And some people were kind of turned off by it. But this has just the right amount, I think, of smoke production. Draws pretty loose, though.
Yeah.
It's got a cool band. I like the colors on the band, too.
Right. What are you thinking so far, Joe?
Definitely got the oak going.
Yep.
It does have like a sourness. It's trying to on my palate. It's trying to like it's trying to be zesty on the retrohale, but it's
Yeah.
not there.
It's not. It's
And
sour.
and I mean, like, it's not as white pepper yet,
Right.
within the cigar as Tatuaje is known for, but it's smooth transition. Another cigar you need to smoke slow for sure.
But Pete blended
Totally
this.
digging it.
Pete blended this as a retro Cuban. Typically, Cubans don't have that spiciness profile you would expect, so that's noticeably absent. And I think as well it should be, given the profile Pete Johnson was going for in these cigars.
But definitely serious oak, and it's
Yeah.
it's and when you when you have something oak, it just for something it just triggers me to smoke it slower, if that makes sense. Oak and leather for me.
I actually think this could use some more age. That sourness may undergo a
Look at you.
transition. I would actually we joked. How long did we rest these?
90 days.
90 days.
90 days.
That's a long rest period, man. We were itching to smoke these.
How
things.
long has this thing been in my possession? Because this is a record for me.
A month?
Yeah. So this is this cigar,
maybe 5 weeks.
This cigar in my hand in my entire smoking career is the longest I've held on to a cigar in my entire life.
I have this mug is like really bright. I'm trying to like move it out of the. It's just it's like distracting. It's so.
Is that pink or peach?
I think it's peach.
It's peach.
It's peach.
All right. But is it crazy to say that retrohale? I'm getting like almost like a raisin kind of profile. I don't know. I'm getting like this. It reminds me of a raisin.
I go simple. I go like sweet, sour, spicy, those kind of profiles. I'll throw in earthy, chocolatey in there as well.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I don't. I have an example.
Maybe that's what it is. Chocolate covered raisin.
It might be a good place to start because I pulled a post where someone was describing a cigar. Did it make it in there? I wonder if it made it in there. Maybe it didn't make it in there. I wonder why it didn't make it in there. Oh, no, it didn't make it into my stories.
Oh, man. It failed the litmus test.
It's on. Hold on. I have another spot. I might have saved it. Now I'm wondering what other stories didn't save in there. So I bookmark all my stuff. And no, it's not in there. I must not have saved that one. It was a blog describing certain cigars. Viaje Summerfest was one of them. It's the Viaje Summerfest one. There it is. No, I found it. I apologize. And when this dude describes cigars, like there's a delicate balance, man. Like I was just saying, I tend to have larger classes and categories of flavor profiles, but this guy was smoking the Viaje Summerfest 2022. And he got tangy, sweet orange citrus, brown sugar, and some citrus peel.
That's deep.
Yeah, and then he got sweet and tangy orange citrus with brown sugar, a mix of citrus peel and leather. Yeah, that's the leather is lingering with black pepper. Like I know a lot of people describe, that experience, and I just think it kind of goes out a limb sometimes for me. to describe that many flavors. I mean, maybe they do. Who knows? Maybe they do get that many flavors, right? Like I don't want to knock anyone that describes it that way, but I don't know. It's just not me.
Yeah, I mean,
I do larger categories. I like larger categories.
Sure, I typically do too, but for me, I got that. I don't know. It just reminded me of a raisin type flavor profile when I got through the retrohale and that kind of that back end that you get.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had that raisin flavor.
It's difficult to put my finger on. I just describe it as a little sour. I'm not sure what type of sour. That's where I need to retrain my palate. I can probably go another level of detail deeper,
Yeah.
But you got to train your palate for that.
So when's the next time we're going to smoke these again to see what age does?
Tomorrow.
I was going to say put them down.
Yeah, Joe Hollywood.
I don't know.
I'm all done
He's
waiting
like, tomorrow.
30-day bullshit. I'm done.
These are
It's
90,
not
bro.
a-
These are 90.
It's
You've
not
had it for 30.
I'd put them down for another 90. I wouldn't let them go another year. I'm
Yeah.
afraid these would age out. There's not a lot of punch and strength to these.
Right. Truth.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
I would not let these age. I actually come around because I acquired so many cigars in a fairly relatively short period of time. I mean, I have like 3 cabinets full of cigars, like big, tall, stand-up humidors.
Like 1,000, 1,200 count cabinets, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I have probably 2,000-ish cigars, roughly. Maybe not. Who knows? I didn't count. But anyway, I've had some cigars that sat around. Like that, I give you a Padron from 2012.
Right.
And so what I found is if I let cigars sit for too long, I miss the window. So
Right,
now I'm
right.
kind of like, don't let some of these cigars age for that long.
Right.
Certain cigars you should. I had
I'll be smoking that Padron tonight, by the way. Just saying.
you should smoke that Padron tonight. Absolutely. Yeah. Those are ready to smoke.
Definitely.
Yeah, any luck. I mean, the cellophane on those gets like
It's
like orange.
It is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the cellophane is extremely orange. Yeah,
It's
awesome.
That's got some age, baby.
It does. Yeah. So I think we've talked about this on previous shows, right? Like, don't let stuff age too long. This isn't one that I'd put down for years necessarily.
I don't know. I dig it, though. I kind of like it. Again, not a lot of punch, but
As I get through that first third, though, that sour note's starting to dwindle a little bit. Yeah, it's not as pronounced.
it's burning really nice. Look at that.
It burn. Oh yeah, I mean the draw and burn
Yeah.
is amazing. I almost don't want to ash it.
Right. Stacking dimes, baby.
Now we're gonna have an ash contest. Joe already lost.
I lost.
Got no patience, this guy.
You are correct. You are 100% correct.
Not a word of a lie.
Why don't we start? You want to talk about the new Zycar cutter? Or we'd mentioned this before the show.
Yeah,
because it was
let's do
kind
it.
of a neat little accessory. We got talking about some of the cutters. I mean, cutters can be expensive. Certainly,
Yeah, this one's not cheap.
This one's not $159.99. I mean, that's not. If you want one good cutter, I think you should be around that price range.
Sure.
You know,
Agreed.
in again, like I was describing the nicer cutters that I have, I tend to leave those on my desk. Like that's where it is. If I have a place where I smoke regularly, that's where I put the nice
Right,
cutter.
right.
That's where it stays. It never leaves there. I don't bring it to a cigar lounge or an event
Right.
and start handing it to people to cut their cigars. For those, I bring either the Zycar scissors, which are not that expensive, or the plastic cut, like a,
Yep.
I don't know, we got in the studio. Like this is an Oliva branded like plastic cutter, right? And when these wear out, because these will wear out, I throw them away
Yeah, 100%.
and grab new ones. And you get free ones every once in a while at an event, or you buy these in the cigar shop. Like what do these plastic cutters cost in cigar shops? $3.99.
Yeah,
whatever it
$3
is.
to $6.
Yeah. And so when they wear out, you throw them out.
Get
But
them
those
free.
are ones
I get
I'll
them free
keep.
with my orders a ton of
Yes.
times. You know?
Yeah. So you
But
end
yeah,
up
it's the same thing with my Le Petit. You know what I mean? I spent $150. I got it on sale, so I actually get like a 20% discount or whatever it was. But I mean, this is the one that I use. I'm not handing this around for people to use. This is if I'm going somewhere, this goes in my pocket. I use it, and then I bring one of my cheaper cutters for everybody to
Right.
use. No doubt.
This new
Yeah, you
one's
gotta have
called
one
the-
good one on hand. No
Yeah,
doubt.
I agree. And this may not be a bad, option for. I didn't look at a video for this or anything to see how the mechanism works, but it looks like a spring-loaded cutter. It's in a circular formation. It has grooves all around the side, which I'm assuming would activate in the mechanism in it. And it's got a nice loop, so you can put it on a carabiner or something like that. Or like I like to do is tie it to your desk so it can never leave your desk.
So nobody can take it.
I actually had.
So you can't take it and lose it.
I used to have on all the tables in here. There might be one on the other side of the studio at the desk. I took I bought chain at Home Depot.
Yep.
And I screwed it into the desk. And then I forget how I made the loop. I made some kind of loop in it, maybe even just with a zip tie, and put a cutter on it.
Yeah.
And so it would never.
Well, that's
they
you went
away.
techie style. That's what we used to do in conference rooms. Where people wouldn't steal all the components in the conference rooms.
Right, the conference phone. Or,
that's it. Right. You just chain it to the table.
So it's got a nice loop. If you want to do something like that.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah,
so it's
nice.
a rotary action cutter, power assisted, cuts up to a 70 ring gauge.
Yeah. That's pretty bomb.
Again, in this one, it's tough to like see how it works. Oh, hold on.
It's a good looking cutter though.
Hold on. I found a video. Here's a video. Do they show it actually? Oh yeah. Oh, so it rotates. I see. So it rotates.
So this one's suggested U.S. retail $159.99.
It looks like they're cutting this cigar we're smoking with it. No, they're not. They're cutting some other tatuaje with similar colors. The bands are the opposite way. Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still gonna. We're going to talk about it later because it comes up in one of the articles. But the baller, I may.
The baller. So if
it's expensive, but I may go in.
If you Google Zycar Revolution Cutter, it looks like Half Wheel has a video on how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Half Wheel had those summary posts from the PCA this year, which I've been checking out. And was it Charlie, or who was it that had the cutter? No, it wasn't Charlie.
Hold on, I'll tell you.
But I think it was Brooks. Brooks had the cutter, the baller cutter.
Yes.
Cigar Medics baller cutter. Yep.
Yep. So that's going for $125 right now on Cigar Medics page.
Nice.
$125.
And why did we like this baller cutter so much?
Because it does the melon ball cut. We wanted to see what the melon ball cut looked like. It cuts like a melon ball, like an actual
like an
ball.
indentation.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like perfectly round.
Crescent, yeah.
Perfectly round.
Oh, I see it now. Yes. Now I remember
A
covering
melon
before.
ball color. Yeah.
That gives you more surface area.
Right.
And I've also sometimes on torpedo cigars, I got this from the guy Dale on that other podcast, Dog Watch Cigar Radio, back in the day. And he was like, when I take a torpedo, because I would always be like, oh, I cut it wrong. If I cut it on an angle, I'd be like, oh, it's like an angle, like I cut it wrong. And I think it was Bob that was like, no, I cut it on an angle, and that gives me more surface area because there's less surface area when it's a torpedo. I'm like, so maybe I get, and that's the other thing about cigars. Like, a lot of times, not all the time, there's no right or wrong way to do things. Right. There are wrong ways to do things, but some of the things you may think, like, oh, I cut that the wrong way. Right. Like, no. There's no, I mean, I don't.
And then you have Joe over here is just like, fucking cut it and smoke it. God damn it.
You
cut it and smoke it.
You can't see the expression on my face. I'm like, all right, next topic, please. Buy the baller, buy the Zycar, let's move on.
I'm feeling it permeate.
I'm just like...
What do you do? Just gnaw it off with your teeth?
No, I have this is the first cutter that I don't know if I showed it to you last week.
I like that one.
No, this here is super cool because finally they're coming out. Like, let's pretend like my hand's a table. It's also a rest.
Yeah.
Which is so.
But is that flat on the other side?
Yeah, it's totally flat and it cuts the perfect. Like it's so thin, it's perfect.
It is a very thin cut.
It's very thin. It's ultra thin.
Is that yours, or is there one on the other side? Do we have two of those floating around?
No, this was
on the computer building desk on the other side.
Yeah, I didn't steal it from the office on my way out.
No, I don't. I don't care.
He's like, I quit. I'm taking this. I'm taking that.
No, I don't care. I saw that on the desk and I needed a cutter and I picked it up. And when I cut my cigar with it, I was like, well, that's a nice cut, but like I need a double cut on that one. It didn't take off enough.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't know if it was that one or we may have two of those floating around.
But how things go in my world is I'll be somewhere and I'll cut this and someone will be like, oh my God, that is awesome. I'm a Drew fan. And like me and Joe's, yeah, take it. Are you serious? I'm like, yeah, man, just take it. I'll literally use this for like a month or two and then just give it to someone. It'd
be time for a new one.
It just happens all the time. Because if someone's going to like, you know what I mean? Like I have a Zycar cutter and whatnot, but like, you know, I don't know. I really have no attachment to a lot of stuff. And, you know, I thought it would change in my 20s. It didn't. You know what I mean? But anyway.
That
yeah.
Drew Estate cigar that I mentioned that threw off a lot of smoke was a feral flying pig.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a larger version
If
of
you
their-
like smoky palates, the Placencia line is like smoke in your
I think
palate 101.
Mr.
Like,
J has just brought
yeah,
that one in. They
Placencia-
just brought in. I'm
yeah,
gonna go there.
Placencia,
I got to
yeah.
go there next week,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things that
you
I
know,
wanted to do while I was there.
Get yourself one of each. Elmo de Campo, Elmo de Fuego, Elmo Forte, and then the original Reserva. The Cosecha 149. The 146 is a little bit better, but you know.
I was just going with Stogie Santa because he knows my palate so well at this
Yeah.
point. We're like, dude, pick me out, whatever
Yeah.
that you think
But
I'll like.
You will notice like one of the main characteristics of Placencia is like heavy, dense smoke on the palate.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, super cool.
Now I'm going there Monday. Who's with you guys coming Monday? We got to coordinate a visit.
We
there.
should.
If they have Wi-Fi, I can work from there.
They do.
So,
They do have Wi-Fi there. You
text
can
me.
totally,
I'll
and
make a trip.
especially like Fridays there. I mean, this is a tip. If you like, I have a lot of experience working in cigar lounges.
Yeah, you do.
As
it's
do
like
I.
one of my, it's one of our practice skills, right?
Quick story. I went and met Paul one day.
Yes.
While he was working from
We
the
didn't get
cigar
much work
lounge.
done that day, though.
We didn't get a lot of work done. We got some drinks in.
We
and
did
got
more
some-
drinking and
some more-
smoking than working.
But it's kind of funny to watch Paul in a cigar lounge because all of a sudden you'll see folks coming in, like they'll walk out of the humidor or they'll get a delivery and they'll be like, Paul, look what we got. And they're holding it up to him. He's like, I think I'm going to take that.
Yeah,
Set aside one of those
He's like
boxes
Norm
for me.
from Cheers.
if you go, just shoot me a text in the morning and I'll make the trip.
Yeah,
I'm in.
let's coordinate and try and get there. So because Fridays there, I used to go there on Fridays. Fridays gets kind of busy in there. Friday afternoon, especially,
Yeah.
gets kind of busy in there, and it's hard to like if you have to do a call or whatever.
Yeah.
But I find like Monday and Tuesday to be much quieter there.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll aim for. And if you guys want to come, yeah, we should because I want to check out some of the Placencia. I got to renew our membership there.
Yeah.
But then you get like, I guess I will have a Bloody Mary, and then
That you gotta be like I
then,
worked out
like
of
they got this really nice, expensive bourbon or scotch, and there's only like 1 or 2 bottles left of it. I'm like, I
Yeah.
should probably have some of that before it goes.
I walked up to the bar that day and I'm like, what kind of loaded iced coffee do you have? She goes, I got you.
Oh yes,
Oh my God, was that
Yes.
good? I think I had 3.
you did.
I think I did.
That thing looked awesome
was really
too.
good. It was
I was
really
actually
good.
telling my wife about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know you don't like to come to the club with me, but I'm like, Jason had this iced coffee that looked like it would be right up your alley.
It was bomb.
They do make awesome drinks there.
Oh, wicked. Yeah. And they're stepping up their game with all the events, man.
We have to do another.
We have to do another
And
event.
It's hard in the summer.
They just did it was called like Fire and Music or something like that. And they had I think it was like gas fire pits outside and they had a band out there.
Yes.
That was super cool.
Did you go
Private
to that?
event. I didn't. I didn't end up going to it.
We'll have to get in on the. Summertime is hard because we're on vacation.
Right, it is.
We've
But they're
got,
doing such cool stuff.
in computer security, right? Our conferences are in
everything's
the
August.
summer. Yeah, August.
Yeah,
So it's hard. But once you get back to
fall.
fall,
Yeah,
I think-
I'm still a little like going to those events. I'm still not uber comfortable just going by myself, walking in like lone wolf.
Oh,
But maybe
well,
I should
yeah.
get better at that.
See, I'm bad at organizing it. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you guys want to take on not all of them, but if you're like, I really want to go to this one, if you organize it, I can be there.
Yeah.
If you leave it up to me to organize it, it's
Yeah.
not going to be very organized.
Well, then at the end of the day, it's tell me if you're available on particular date, particular
Right.
time, and I'll make sure we organize it.
Yes,
Because I like to organize.
because we have to check our collective schedules,
totally. And
right?
that's
I
the
mean,
toughest part.
we had kids soccer tournaments.
Yep.
In fact, right after the show, I'm leaving because
yeah.
kids soccer tournament. So, which is fun, and I'm going to totally have cigars while we tailgate in the parking lot. So you're going to the game.
I'm going to
So
meet you
should-
there.
We
I'm
should
gonna
have a
see you at
cigar.
the game.
We should have a cigar together tomorrow.
Yes, 100% we will.
Every day is a good day to have a cigar. together.
100%. And then you're gonna see my son when I light up a cigar, and he's gonna go, God, Dad, I love the smell of cigars.
Yeah.
He does it every time.
Yes, which I don't understand the banning in state-owned parks and beaches, especially from a
yeah.
cigar perspective, because normally, especially outside, right? Indoors hard because if you're at a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
And then like imagine the days in a restaurant where everyone could just smoke, and you're in the middle of a restaurant and it's crowded, and people are eating, and you light up a cigar.
Yeah,
Like,
no bueno.
without ventilation, because none of those restaurants or bars had ventilation back in the day. I mean, we talk about going to the cigar lounge and clubs. They all have, not all, but most have like really advanced ventilation systems. I know Havana Club next door, Mr. J's have similar systems, and like it is not smoky in there. I mean, up to a certain point, you get an event where it's full and it's going to be a little smoky. But can you imagine what an event would be like without ventilation?
Oh my God!
Imagine a restaurant in the '90s where you're lighting up a cigar.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see where
even a cigar lounge that doesn't have good ventilation.
Yes.
I've been in one of those where it's just smoky everywhere.
Yes,
and you don't have a ton of people. Maybe you got 15, 20 people in there, and it's still smoky.
In that, I mean, I don't know. But outside, usually people are like, oh, I like the smell of the cigar, because they're not necessarily getting like all the smoke in their face. They're just getting like the aroma. And they're like, that's kind of
That's
nice.
And I've had a ton of people who don't smoke cigars say that.
Yeah,
you know, just get the aroma, like, wow, I really like the smell of cigars.
So like outside, I've always been, I don't know, I've read some studies. I'm not an expert, but like I've read some studies, and I'd struggle to find any really good scientific evidence that there is a health risk outside of smoking. I mean, pollution is one thing. I don't think cigars or really anything that you would smoke as an individual has any adverse health risks associated with it.
No, not unless you're sitting there blowing it in somebody's face nonstop. But
right.
Yeah.
But again, you're outside.
You're outside, right. Yeah, it's I mean, we have a lot of different legislation type articles in here, you know, and it's, more and more they're coming down on the cigar smokers. And again, I think it's a problem of lumping tobacco into one category.
Yeah, lumping smoking.
That's what I'm saying, right? So they're looking at this holistically as one big tobacco issue, right? And they're saying we don't want people smoking, and they're probably focused on the cigarettes.
Right.
You know?
What are they smoking? Cigars, marijuana, vaping, whatever.
I mean, at the end of the day, there isn't a public event that I've been to since it's been legalized in Rhode Island that I don't smell it.
Right.
I smell it everywhere.
You walk down the streets of San Francisco, that's all you smell.
Right.
Well, other than homeless people.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Well, they're just hoping that the marijuana smell takes over.
That's a resounding endorsement for the fine city of San Francisco right there.
We smell like marijuana, not stank.
Yeah, so I don't get it. I mean, you know how myself and many of us are, especially in cybersecurity, we're like, show me the data.
Yeah.
Like, where's the data that supports? So then this is just more feel-good legislation.
More feel-good.
Much like the straws and the plastic bags and all that stuff. Like, everything I've read and listened to in a lot of these cases, I'm like, I just don't see. I mean, unless someone wants to prove me wrong, believe me, I'm not going to be upset if you're trying to prove me wrrong, or if you do prove me wrong.
Show the data.
I'd love to see the data.
I would too.
I would love to see the data that backs this up. Yeah. I just don't think you're going to get really good data about the public health, public health of smoking outdoors.
Right. Agreed. I put another article in here about, I believe it was the governor of Michigan. They had the 18, their limit on it was 18 for smoking, right? And they just bumped it up. The governor signed the legislation to bump it up to 21. And we talked about this on the last show. I'm a firm believer if you can put a rifle, put a rifle in somebody's hands and send them overseas to go fight a war, they should be able to smoke a cigar.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand that. Again, data that supports that.
Right.
Like, what is the?
You're an adult at 18. Right. I left living in my parents' house at 18 and a half. You're telling me it's going to be illegal if I go buy a cigar and smoke it? Or I go to a store and they tell me no?
Right.
Honestly, I mean,
I'm curious to see what their reasons are. You know, keep them out of the hands of kids. But like you said, isn't 18 when you're?
Then don't send them to war.
More of an adult.
Then don't allow them to join the military, be trained to kill, and be trained to protect this country, right? And then tell them they can't go smoke a cigar.
You can drive an automobile.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about the responsibility of driving an automobile.
Right. So.
Yeah.
I'm just. I think 21 is just over the top. At the end of the day.
There are certain cities and or towns in California where you can't smoke in your automobile, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. You can look it up.
Even if you're alone? Because I've heard like you can't smoke with kids. And,
it may vary. Yeah. There are other laws, you're right, Joe, where you can't smoke with kids in the car. Which even still, I mean, if all the windows are down and I'm driving down the street to go to the pond to go fishing and I already have a cigar, like like I'd never go on a long trip with all the windows up in the winter and light up a cigar with my family in the car. Like that's not gonna go over well. But again, like in the summer, all the windows are down. I'm like hanging it out the window just to maybe go drive to the lake to go fishing or whatever.
Should the government be telling you that you can't smoke your cigar in your car?
Like your kids.
I mean, that's the bigger issue that I'm talking about. Wait
Again,
a minute. Hold on a minute. Wait.
Right.
Time out. You're telling me that I cannot light up my cigar that I purchased in my vehicle that I purchased while I'm driving down the road?
Yeah.
Get out.
That's a law. There are laws in California.
Craziness. That's why I'll never live in California.
A lot of poop.
Joe's always bringing us back to the poop.
Yeah, nah. It's feel good legislation. You know what I mean?
all
They
day
call
long.
it public nuisance. They call it this, that, and the other thing. I mean, whatever. It's
Stupid.
It's
Absolutely stupid.
not gonna end.
I did like that King Tut's Tomb box that Foundation Cigars came out with. It's in that same article. I think that's really cool.
In which article?
It's in the same article as the Baller.
Oh, as the
From the
baller.
PCA, yeah.
That's who was that? Patrick or Brooks? That's Brooks. No, I'm opening the wrong tab.
It's Brooks.
It is Brooks.
Yep.
I had the other tab open.
It's Brooks.
That is the nope, not High Clare Castle.
It is.
Is it the
Yeah.
High Clare Castle?
Yes.
Yes, from Foundation Cigars.
You got it. Yeah,
That's
they
some
did
cool
it.
packaging.
Yeah, King Tut style. I showed you guys. I sent you the picture. I bought the freaking Africa boxes. Did you see those?
Yeah.
We talked about them on the last show.
Don Lino, Africa.
Yeah. I'm gonna season them. I'm gonna use them. I'm gonna use them for the cigars
Yeah.
I'm gonna smoke like that week.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
They're super cool.
did it come with any cigars or was it empty?
No, it was empty.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I just bought them for the box.
The boxes and
We were
smokes.
talking about it. I'm like, oh my god, super cool.
They're really cool.
I found them. I bought them. Yeah.
I remember Stogie saying it, saying he like having I think on his dresser.
Yeah.
That he had saved because he's like the box is just
Yeah,
so
I got
cool.
I got the elephant and the rhinoceros.
That's
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, there was an article about dry boxing cigars. I don't do this. I know.
I
Joe,
have.
I know Joe does this.
I have. You know when I did it? You know when I did it? When you were telling me about the cat piss smell for
Yes.
cigars, right? And I had a couple of sticks that had that cat piss ammonia smell. I dry boxed them for 5 days. Solid. They were solid after that. I stuck them back in the humidor. They're perfect.
Yeah.
So do you do that all the time? I've only done it once. That one time.
Well, in my opinion, the reason why that you get that cat piss smell is after the cigar has been rolled, and this happens a lot with a lot of popular brands. After the cigar's been rolled, it really should not be. It's 24 hours to smoke it, or 45 days. So think about that. So it's been rolled, it's off the shelves, it's boxed, it's shipped.
Yep.
It could very well get there within that 30-day window.
Yep.
And it's not ready, and it's that ammonia. It needs
It's
to.
still fermenting, right?
Yeah,
Is that
it
basically
needs
what's happening?
to. It needs to because and I picked that up back in the day at the humidor. There was an Alec Bradley Tempest when the original Tempest came out, which was a great stick, and then they
Yeah, it was.
discontinued it. But and they had them actually rolling Templates, and the woman said, "Are you going to smoke these today?" I'm like, "I don't know, sure." She's like, "You have 24 hours to smoke these, or let them rest for 30 to 45 days." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So of course, after she gets done and it starts to die down, I'm like, "Why?"
Yeah.
And she went into this whole rigmarole of how with the glue and the adhesive, not the adhesive, what's the glue that they use to do it? It's like
I can't remember. Yeah.
it's sticky, it's
a
gooey,
resin.
right?
It's a resin.
Right? And what
There's
happens is
different
it
types of
starts
too.
some ammonia. And I remember with some of the popular brands that have gone like literally from like factory to doorstep, smaller brands, right, that have had that opportunity to do that. I've pulled cigar shop owners aside and said these are not ready. They need to be dry boxed.
It's actually funny with the T110s that I bought at Mr. J's. Paul, remember when I was with you at Mr. J's? I got the Tatuaje T110s.
Yes.
That's what they told me too. Let it rest for another couple of weeks.
Right.
They're not ready yet.
So, but there's a thing called the sick period. Early stage of maturation lasts between 3 and 12 months, is known as the sick period. If you smoke a cigar during this time, probably make you a little ill due to the amount of ammonia present in the cigar.
Yeah.
So that is typically referred to as the sick period. Cigar Journal has an article.
Yeah, I
They're
mean, some of
really
the
good.
classic facings, because of their process, it sits on the shelf, it stays. But but if you're a smaller operation and you're literally going from like factory floor to box to ship.
Yep.
Some of them direct shipping because they're really that small yet. They don't have a distribution outlet. It could get there within that 30 days, and they're not ready.
That makes sense because those 2 sticks that I had were more of the boutique line.
Yeah,
sticks,
yeah. It's very common. Like I said, if you're gonna get like a Gloria Cubana, you almost have like no shot of that because their process,
Right.
or any classic facing.
Yeah.
But any boutiques, it's literally going there,
Yeah, boom,
box,
boom, boom, and out.
direct.
Right.
This is the SIG period, I believe, is after the cigar is rolled. So this is due to the fact that tobacco leaves are moistened before rolling and accelerates a further fermentation process, which releases the ammonia.
That makes sense.
I couldn't remember all the details off the top of my head, so I had Cigar Journal has a really good article about
But that's the reason why I dry box it because I remember us talking
Right.
a while ago.
But usually by the time you get them, the SIG period has all, unless like you were saying, Joe, someone rolled it right in front
these
of
were
you.
boutique cigars.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it very well, what Joe was saying, that process, I hit it early.
Right.
Got into my humidor. I don't know. I checked
Most
it out a couple
cigars
weeks
you
later.
get, though, have been aged beyond the SIG
Yeah.
period
Sure.
before they ship.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
And
Majority
quite
of the time.
honestly, like without me rattling off names, in the 7 or 8 times that I've pulled them aside, they've all been ultra small
boutique.
boutique cigars. It's never been because of the process. It's literally, could be a garage that they're working out of, and then they get a direct ship and they go and they put it in the freaking UPS box and away it goes, and it couldn't get there. So
Now,
very common.
In theory, if your humidor has too much humidity in it, could you restart the fermentation process? If it's too humid, or would it just go moldy?
No, it would just go moldy.
yeah, I would think
Because,
it would go moldy, yeah.
The fermentation process in the case we're talking about, the SIG period, happens from like the inside out.
Yep.
Whereas if you put it in your humidor, that humidity is trying to penetrate inside the
Got it.
cigar, so the wrapper would in the foot would maintain most of that moisture, and you would probably just get mold, like you said.
But
would be my guess.
dry boxing worked like a charm, man. Ammonia smell, stuck it in there. I think it was like 5 or 6 days, something like that. Pulled them out. They were great.
Now, I wouldn't leave it in there for more than like 3 or 4 days. How long did you leave it in there for?
About 5.
About 5? Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it was about
articles
5.
were saying like 3-4 days
Yeah,
max.
so I did 5, so that's
but that also depends on how much humidity you have ambient. Like
True.
many other locations recently, we've had really high heat and humidity. So if you leave a cigar out, it could absorb more humidity than you. So when you dry box, in the summer months, I would put it in that cool, dry spot, in your house.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my hygrometers within the last couple of weeks, you know how hot and humid it's been here in Rhode Island, right? I pull them out of the humidor, and the humidity goes through the roof.
Yep.
Goes up. Boom. Right away.
I sometimes keep one ambient, like outside my humidor.
Do you?
To just see. I mean, you can get that from your thermostat. My thermostat will give me temperature and humidity. That's where the thermostat is, right? But I go down to my basement, different environment. Sometimes I like to know how much how hard are my humidors working to either humidify or dehumidify. Keep the humidity out at that point. So if you're going to dry box, do it in a place that doesn't have extreme in either direction.
Way. Right.
But that box, the dry box, right? Because don't put the empty box in your humidor and let it absorb moisture. Keep your dry box out somewhere where the wood is actually dry. So when you put your cigars in it, it's actually the wood that's going to absorb any excess moisture from the cigar. Some people do that like the night before and then smoke their cigar the next day to remove some of that humidity from the cigar before you smoke it. Because you think about it, your humidor is preserving your cigars, not necessarily the humidity that you want to be smoking them at.
I'm gonna fuck with this guy. That's exactly why we need the cigar medic internal.
We see that. Yeah, we need. You got to make
Cigar
sure.
medic.
But that's we talked about that I think last month, right?
We did. That's why I wanted to
Optimum
fuck him.
efficiency.
That's why he's just like fucking cut it, smoke it.
I didn't smoke it, but
I tend to put them in my travel humidor with a Bovita pack.
That's what I have right here.
Yeah, and then I usually try and leave them in there for at least overnight.
Yep.
Or for a little while before I smoke them, and then even before I smoke them, I may take a few out and just let them sit out before I smoke them. So it's got a little time to for some of that excess humidity to perhaps evaporate. I don't know that it makes that much of a difference, though, to be honest with you.
So I'm in my second third of the number one. I'm starting to get that chocolatey like you were talking about. A little bit of that chocolate.
That sour
like
went
cocoa,
away.
Like cocoa.
The
like
sour
cocoa
went away
taste.
entirely.
Yeah.
After the
'Cause
first
you're
third,
you're in the final third, right?
I'm in the final third. I've been talking and smoking and not paying attention to this
shit.
at all. It is. I would say you're spot on with chocolatey though.
Yeah. A little cocoa chocolatey taste.
Agreed.
I dig it. I don't know. I like it, man.
I like it better once that sourness went away.
I like it.
And now I'm really digging it.
Yeah.
It also now still has that what lingers on the palate is that RC series tobacco that I'm familiar with. Because that, like I talked about training your palate, I've smoked so many of the RC series 184 and 233s that I have that taste and flavor profile like in my database. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like when I get those particular flavors, I'm like, my brain goes, oh, Paul, that's an RC 184 or 233 flavor profile. And I pick up some
You're
of
picking that
those
up?
notes. Now, again, like you got to train your brain to do more of that. So basically, to put in computer terms, right? You got a larger database to pull from to make those, use a database term, relationships, right? Between those things.
Yeah.
So-
That's I get like that too, where I classify them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so when people ask, like, well, what do you like? I'm like, dude, I'm all over the map. Like, it depends on what I'm in the mood for. You know what I mean? Do I want a pepper bomb? Do I
Right.
want a flavor bomb?
But you could populate the database.
Right.
Smoke a cigar that's got a peppery thing.
Yep.
And like make a conscious effort to go, that's pepper.
Yep.
It has this profile.
Yeah.
And
Think
then
about
go,
it and log it. You got to think about it and log it.
I'm smoking this cigar. Maybe this cigar has this particular type of tobacco, and start building the database. Now, the type of tobacco, that's a crapshoot. It was interesting. I interviewed someone. It might have been Lito Gomez, and I was asking him about like how do you pick up the different types of tobacco that are in a cigar, and he's like, you can do it sometimes. He's like, but I think one time he was describing an event or experience where him and like a bunch of other master blenders were all given the same cigar and asked to identify which types of tobacco, like which priming, which plants from which region are in that cigar. And he's like, we all got it wrong. he's like, if you smoke the Parejo, I think, is it Parejo? No, when you smoke just a particular plant and priming, and that's all that's in the cigar, they do that as part of the blending process. Is it a Parejo? It's not a Parejo. I forget. I always forget what the term is for that. You see it in the blending kits. This particular cigar is just this type of filler from that cigar, and that's all that's in this cigar is just that filler. So you smoke just one of the
What do they
filler.
call it? It's a purito.
Purito. Yeah, Purito.
Yeah.
So you smoke the Purito,
Yep.
and he's like, then you can, with a much higher degree of success, pinpoint like, oh, I'm smoking this Purito. It's a seco priming from Jalapa or whatever, right? You can kind of pinpoint the priming. Maybe
We still have to do
the
that from
region and the
Rojas.
type.
Weren't we going to grab some Rojas ones and do that?
Yeah, they're over
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah.
So like the type of plant, maybe the region, the priming would be interesting. I don't know, you might be able to pick that out. Maybe more experienced people, right? But you can describe the characteristics of it, but only in a Purito. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, but that's how you train your palate.
That's how you train your palate.
That's how you train your palate.
That's how you feed the database.
And so then when you smoke the cigar that's all blended together, or smoke any other cigar that's all blended together, you can go, oh, that's a Viso priming from Jalapa, right? That's where we all want to get to in our cigar nerdiest.
That's where the Rojas kit comes in because it breaks up the regions and stuff like that.
Right.
But with me, the only thing that I can absolutely, positively, no doubt, like undisputed champion.
It's broadleaf because you can look at the cigar and go, oh, it's broadleaf.
Well, no. Actually, no. But like for me, the way my palate is, like Criollo 98. Like
Yeah.
I can pick that out
Right.
of it. Various blends. Like I've smoked stuff where I'm like, oh, it's definitely got that. Like I've smoked Aganos Leafs, I smoked some Alec Bradley. Like not looking it up before. Test blends, been with
Yeah.
test
There's
blend.
certain
I
things
can
in
just
you-
There's certain things that just stick to you.
I was eating chicken at a barbecue and I was like, that's smoked paprika. Like there's no doubt about it. Like, 'cause I can pick that up.
Yep.
Because I've tried different kinds and I use them in
Yeah,
Bloody Marys and I use them
yep.
sometimes in my spice mixes for doing barbecue. And like it has it's a very easy one to pick out because it has such a distinct flavor profile. But it's same thing with types of tobacco.
Yeah.
You've really kind of ingrained that one in your brain.
Yeah, there's a couple like Jalapa Valley I can kind of guess and get there because the strength and the pepper profile for me on the retro is how I pick it out. But usually it's something like I really like. Like there's something, it just speaks to you.
Right.
So obviously you remember it more.
I really like smoked paprika, so therefore I remember it.
So you remember it more.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little pepper pull on this, a little white pepper pull.
Yeah, it's going to be white pepper.
Mild, but not
it's
nothing crazy, but a little mild.
It transitions so slow though.
Yeah.
It's a good stick.
It is a good stick. Yeah. I just wasn't a
This
fan
thing's
of the sour.
Burning beautifully.
My only complaint was I didn't like the sour in the beginning.
Yeah.
But
Did you only get that on the retro hail?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, only on the
Only
retro.
retro. But to me, it was like trying to. It was sour, but it was trying to.
It was overextending
do
itself.
something-
Yeah.
Trying to do something zest, and it just didn't. Could be age.
Could be age.
You know, mine won't stick around long enough for an analysis, but you know, Paul's and Jason's might.
We can do
Next
round. We
year,
can
Paul's
do
gonna
round
pull
two.
it out.
We can
Yeah.
do round two.
Yeah.
You know.
Next year.
I'm not holding on to it for a year, so you know.
I do like the Summerfest blend. I had an older one. It's probably a little aged out, but it was a good stick. Just to go back to that Viaje Summerfest. I haven't smoked the 2022 version, but the ones that I had, I forget what year it was. It was probably like 2010 or something. Probably really old, but it had the most gigantic shaggy foot on it.
Yeah.
Like it was maybe 2 or 3 inches of shaggy foot hanging off the end
way.
of this like pretty big torpedo.
Yeah.
Like probably 6 something torpedo, like 6x52 torpedo.
It had a Wookiee foot.
But like, yeah, it did have a Wookiee foot, absolutely, and the Wookiee foot would have made it like an 8.5 by 52 torpedo. And I remember when these first came out, I didn't experiment. I'm like, because when the shaggy foot is that big, you should trim some off. But I was like, what if you didn't trim some off?
Yeah,
Dude, it is
what
like
happens?
ash,
Fire.
and cinder, and like fire, like bits of tobacco that's still on fire falling on it, and the smoke is billowing everywhere. It's awesome. I mean, you should try it at least once, and then you'd be like, I never want to do that again.
Yeah.
I almost set myself on fire.
And then
three
like if you have a
times.
golf shirt on, like if you're on the golf course and you do that, it burns a hole.
Burns right through.
You know,
Please.
it's always the golf shirt that your kid got you for Father's Day. So like now I'm back in the golf shop, replacing the shirt, and of course you know they probably bought it for
$80,
20.
yeah.
I'm spending 80 on it to replace the shirt because you know if I go home with this burnt shirt, the wife is gonna kill you.
Mom found it on clearance, and you're going by MSRP.
Yeah, right. Oh, I've been there, done that multiple times.
The worst is fleece.
Yeah.
Oh, bad.
If an ash falls on fleece,
Forget about
because like the fibers are so fine, it just melts.
It melts.
It melts.
Yeah, the golf shirts like that. I have a couple of shirts that, you know, because obviously I wear a lot of black in my portfolio, so everything the kids get me, and everything the kids get me is attracted to freaking cigar ash. Like, I'm like, God damn it. Like, I almost like want to buy, like, I should like pre-buy them when they buy them for me. This way I can see if I can
Stack
catch them on
up.
sale because it's every shirt that they have.
So
you know?
CRA sent me this beautiful fleece vest. I wore it the first day to work, and in about less than an hour, I had a perfectly round melted circle.
Yeah.
Because the ash fell off like perfectly.
Of course.
It had a perfect circle like right there. And like, there's nothing you can do about that. The fibers have been melted.
Throw it in the trash.
No.
Like, I can't even, it's like embroidered.
Wear it
So,
as
like,
a work fleece when you're working in the yard.
You know. It's always something like that.
So we were talking about Rojas. Rojas dropped some stuff, but I'm excited about the carnitas, the street taco carnitas. I don't. Did they drop? Were they dropping today?
They're coming in.
They're coming in?
They're shipping. So as we speak,
I'm excited for that.
2 places that will have them next door that I know of, and Breakwaters will
Yeah.
have them. Yeah, I've had the carnitas. I've had the unfinished business.
Yep.
He also had he has a Habana. He has this unwrapped series that a lot of the current shops are going. Oh, the KSG, yeah. The funny thing is, like, honestly, like, I've had they released the KSG like this year. I've had that like 2 years ago.
No shit.
Yeah, it was out, and it's a size thing, and you wait for the show, and I'm such a fan. But yeah, it's super good. Yeah, it's gonna be street taco blend with the, I believe it says Connecticut wrapper.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, super cool. He's got some other stuff coming in too.
Oh, yeah.
You
And
know,
he just opened a new factory, didn't he?
yeah. Well, he's gonna open it in August.
Oh, it's
I'm
opening, yeah.
I'm
He's
supposed to
building it or
go,
something.
but
Are you?
I'm going to Hilton Head. I can't. I can't go to a cigar factory, transition to a new job, and abandon the family. That's just like an appetite for a recipe for
Divorce.
disaster. You know what I mean?
Recipe for divorce.
I'll be sleeping here on the Stogie Geeks couch.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for the Carnitas to come out. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
So you guys know your leaf primings?
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
talking about-
Viso Seco, Lajero.
Lajero's top.
Yeah, Lajero's top.
Then Viso.
Then Viso, Seco, and then
It's a V. Begins with a V.
Viso?
Volato.
Volato, yep.
Volato.
Yeah. God, you're having me go back to like Stogie Geeks testing. Okay, Joe. In order for you to do your first episode, you need to know your primings. I got him, Paul. I got him.
So it was cool. I think it's fun to always come back to this and learn about the nerd.
Yeah.
It's really cigar nerdiness, right? And there's an article from Holtz that was written about seco tobacco, and it got me thinking about burn and combustion, because typically they'll use seco leaves to help with combustion because they burn really well. They also provide some flavor as well, but I think a lot of it is speaking to that burn and combustion. Because you ever get a cigar and you're smoking the cigar and you got that nice burn line, but then beyond the burn line, there's a hole that has burned through. That's because the tobacco leaves combust at different points, and likely a roller made a mistake, would be my guess, and put the leaves in the wrong order so that a leaf that burned more quickly, maybe a seco leaf, is burning faster than the other leaves around it, so you get that combustion kind of hole, if you will.
Now the Volato is strictly combustion, right? Is that what it's
Good
for?
question.
Volato's the bottom, right?
Volato is the bottom.
Yeah. So it's
Straight combustion.
Yep.
Yes. What did we talk about? Yeah.
Which I know,
burn's
a
really low.
Volato. One thing I've learned from Manuel Noah, there will never be a Volato in a La Aurora cigar. The bottom, like there's never.
Yeah.
It's one thing I've learned from Stogie Geeks.
Yeah, it's there's actually another great article that explains it too. So I want to cover more about that stuff. I haven't covered that stuff on the show in a while.
Now seco comes from a certain portion of the plant.
Priming. It's the priming is the part of the plant that the leaves are pulled from, right? From top to bottom.
Yep.
Yeah, so seco is like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, and they're pulled
Just
at
above
different-
Volato,
They're
basically.
pulled at different times and then cured
They all,
differently.
yes, correct. Little cigar nerdiness there for you. What else do we want? Oh, I want to talk about this one. This is really interesting. So Famous Smoke had a post, and it was fan mail, burning cigar questions answered.
Yes.
I particularly liked, and I didn't read all of these posts. There was a couple of them out there.
There's some videos in there.
Yeah, the Famous Smoke is a Cigar Advisor, is like their media arm that they created for Famous Smoke, and they're pretty good. But the last question on this particular post was, why do cigars have bands? And there's a short little video that I thought was pretty good. So there was a Russian empress who
Catherine the Great.
apparently smoked cigars, like chain smoked cigars, and she had them wrapped in silk so that when she held the cigars, it wouldn't stain
Her fingers.
Yeah. And so there's some speculation that bands exist today so they don't stain your fingers. There's also playboys in 19th century England used to wear white gloves and smoke cigars. They didn't want to stain their white gloves. But basically, they describes in the video that like, all of that is like legend and kind of hogwash stuff. That the real reason they created the bands was someone in like the 19th century or whatever came up with this idea to put an ornate dressing on the cigars to make them stand apart. So it turns out like bands are for marketing. Imagine that. Russian empresses in 19th century, English playboys aside, the real
We
reason
want to
is
sell cigars.
marketing.
We want to sell
To make the cigar look cool so that people buy them. And
I thought it was funny because you know me and resting my cigars, right? The second video was how long to rest a cigar. And I'm like, all right, I want to watch this. I can't wait. And the guy comes out and says, depends.
Yeah.
Depends on the season, depends on your preference, depends on the state of the cigar.
Exactly.
And I'm like, right.
But it's interesting though, if you talk to cigar manufacturers, right, and you ask them like, hey, if you release a cigar without a band versus having a band, like you could do a study, like sales would be significantly impacted.
Oh yeah, you could
You could have the best cigar in the world. You put a band on it. It's
Seriously.
not going to sell as well as you put a band on it.
Yep, they're a popular classic facings boutiques out there where they sell unbanded cigars, and they are $2 to $3 cheaper.
Yeah.
Just for that very well reason.
Right.
Now, some of it could be crowdsourcing, right? Hey, why don't you take these bundles and see how they do? And crowdsourcing, I mean, you know what I mean? But like realistically speaking, the band is so important, especially in nowadays.
As a cigar smoker, though, like not the visual aspect to it, but the practical aspect to it, I hate bands. Because like sometimes I can't get it off easily, and you're fighting with it to get it off, and you can't take a knife and like cut it off because you're gonna damage the cigar. Sometimes they use too much glue on the thing, so when you do take it off, the the part of the wrapper cigar wrapper tobacco comes off with it. Sometimes even not where the glue is, the wrapper will just come off with it. Now you got this hole in your cigar where the wrapper was, and I'm like, what? I lost a little flavor there.
Yeah, there's like characteristics of cigar smokers, right? So do some people always leave the bands on? Some people always take them off? Do some people like let the ash go long? I'm not. So like me, and my characteristics, like I never let the ash go long, and I unbanned every single cigar I smoke
right away.
Even this one, I unbanded this if I could, before I light it. Every single time I smoke a cigar, now I do from experience. I check, right. Some of them let me do it without there. Some of them I have to smoke and let get hot in order for me to do it. But like wish list and like total like characteristics of ritual. No matter where I am, I unband every single cigar before I light it. It just, I've always have.
Yeah. Sometimes the bands are like really loose, and you can just slide them off. If they're loose and I can slide them off, it comes right off. Because then like I'm holding it and the cigar is actually sliding inside the band while I'm holding it by the band.
I'm like Catherine the Great.
No, I'm not.
I keep it on until probably I just took it off and I'm hitting that last third. I just took the band off.
Yeah, no.
I kind of feel
so maybe I should wear white gloves or something.
But like I feel you should, but I feel like it's the same way with bands as it is with ash. Like when the ash naturally wants to fall off, that's when I try and make it fall off. Hopefully in the ashtray, but usually not.
Mostly not.
As you know me
from experience. Mostly not.
But the same thing with the bands, like Joe was saying. If it wants to come off before I light it up, or slide it off, I take it off, right? If it doesn't, I usually wait until the burn mark gets closer to it so it's heated up a little bit, and then I try and take it off.
Yeah, if you ever committed a crime, Paul, while smoking a cigar, you will be found.
Yeah, because there'll be a big pile of cigar ash.
You just follow the ash, and you will be found 100% of the time.
Now, do you guys smoke flavored cigars at all?
I haven't in a long time.
I very rarely do, and if I do, they're like the coffee flavored ones or something like that.
Years ago, because it was, I think I put an article about flavored cigars.
Well, no, it's in this article,
and it's in this article too.
It's this one about.
No, I put one in a coffee infused cigars too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. You did.
I haven't smoked in a while, but I did smoke the Nub Cafe.
Yeah, like I like the macchiato. I'll do that,
espresso.
but I have to be in the mood. I think
it was the cappuccino. I think I like the.
Yeah.
They call them
macchiato, espresso, and cappuccino.
Yeah. I think it was the Nub cappuccino that I was digging for a while.
Yep.
And I bought a bunch, had in my humidor. I'd smoke them mostly on Friday mornings.
Yep.
If we did Stogie
like
Geeks late on Thursday,
coffee cigar kind of thing.
like if we did Stogie Geeks late on a Thursday night when that's when we used to do it, I'd come in the office on Friday and my palate would be really tired.
Yeah.
And I just wanted something to they work well to kind of reset your palate. Because there's not as much struggling to pick up on the nuances and the flavors when you're smoking an infused cigar. Like it's infused with flavor, and that's the flavor you're likely going to get, right?
Yep.
And so I would smoke one of those, but that was years ago. I haven't smoked them really since then.
I haven't had one in a couple of years, probably a year and a half, couple of years as well. But those are the only ones I would like.
I don't have any in my humidor either.
Yeah, I don't have any more either.
Like someone's wife was smoking flavored cigars, and they had us over, and I wanted to gift them. I'm like, I don't have any flavored cigars anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my buddies actually, she grew up in a family that her uncle smoked a lot of cigars. So, when she got old enough, she would have one too, like a small one. But she likes the coffee-infused cigars. So I'd have a few lying around, and I'd grab one every now and then. And, I mean, it was all right. It was good. Like you said, you have to be in the mood, right? You just have to. But the article here was, do flavored cigars lose their flavor?
They do.
And before I even watched the video, I said, if you age them as long as Paul does, they absolutely must.
Oh, they most certainly do.
Yeah. So the crazy part is that Jonathan Drew from Drew Estates, he quoted him and said they should never lose the flavor.
Well, they won't lose it entirely.
Yeah.
But it'll definitely
it'll
diminish over time.
Got it.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know why this is happening, but the Stogie Geeks chat is coming through the other show chat. So, but
Oh yeah, that's
some people are just saying
right.
like have your coffee with flavored cigars, and
Yep.
flavored cigars in the humidor could taint the regular
It could,
cigars.
yes.
Sure.
They actually could, but I think that's in volume, like for sure. There, but I probably smoke a flavored cigar probably once a year, and I can tell you that I am not driving. I am completely doing adult things, and I've been doing adult things all day, and I am drunk somewhere like bad. Like
you just need a stick.
and I'm just like freaking. Oh, I want one of those acids. Those are great, and freaking like. But that really happens. Like it's once a year. It's probably been a good year and a half for me.
Yeah.
It's just not because I have that. Like when I wake up in the morning, sometimes and I crave a cigar, I have that like umami flavor, like wow, man, I want a cigar.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the last thing I'm gonna go to would be that. But again, they do serve their purpose,
Sure.
and some people do like them. You know, so.
we should do a whole show where we smoke flavored cigars.
That means we're gonna get him super drunk.
Ooh, but no,
that'll be the tequila
I would
show.
do it.
when we do all the
I just
tequila
don't crave
tastings.
it as much as like a regular cigar. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
like
just-
I was on them for a little while. Like I said, I had that one particular kind of moment where they went down really good, and then I lost it.
Yeah.
You
See, I'm
know?
not a big flavored anything though. Like I don't
No.
like flavored coffee. I don't like cream and sugar in my coffee.
Me neither.
You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
drink my hot coffee black. I'll do a splash of skim milk and iced
Martini's
coffee.
just straight up, man.
Straight up, yeah, dude.
I don't like
I'm
any
not
of
a
the
big
fruity.
I'm not a fruity tooty flavory. No,
I'm not either. I don't even really like a lot of desserts. Like there's
Yeah.
specific desserts that I
Same.
do like. We have
Same.
very similar palates.
Yeah.
And
I
so
would
you
rather I would rather have something that's like a dark chocolate.
Yes.
That's more of that bitter chocolate
bitter
taste
Yeah.
than sweet.
Then
chocolate.
sweet.
Yeah,
I'm not
totally.
big on sweets. I'm not.
Yeah.
So I like Bloody Marys,
Right.
martinis, dirty martinis,
Yeah.
in that kind of
Right.
olives. That
Oh,
kind of
totally.
yeah, like that. I
100%.
find that either like you have that palate type or you don't.
Yep.
So when I describe a michelada to people, which I've been digging lately,
Have you? Yeah.
I've been on a michelada kick too. That's
right?
crazy.
If you don't, you have that palate too. Like you like the Bloody Marys and the dirty martinis,
Yeah.
and if you like that kind of stuff, and you like eating olives and things like that,
Salty, yeah.
salty,
Yeah.
savory,
Yeah.
Love it.
you're gonna like micheladas. And michelada, all it is Bloody Mary mix without vodka.
Yep.
It's just Bloody Mary mix.
Yep.
And beer over ice.
Oh,
Now,
you
do you
told
get
me about
do you
that.
get rowdy with the beer? Like to me, like it's got to be like Modelo.
Yeah, Modelo.
it's-
Well, I've done
sometimes
Modelo.
Corona,
I've
but-
done Corona.
but Modelo
You
is
know what
like-
goes really well in them? I made one at home and it was really good. Was Narragansett Lager.
Really?
It goes spectacular.
Really?
With it.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm in.
You got to try that.
Yeah, I'll do that over the weekend.
Down home
Sounds like a
beer.
plan.
Down home beer right here.
So if you haven't, so then like if you're really craving a michelada,
Like the old school lager, like the original lager from that.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah.
cool. All right.
You mean not the lobster flavored one that they came out with? At
Oh,
one point?
the fresh catch or whatever. Yeah, that's what I was trying to decipher. But yeah.
well, so I actually when I'm craving a michelada and I don't have the means to acquire a real one, I'll drink a Bud Light Chelada. You know what that is? It comes in a big tall can.
Is it
Oh,
pre-made?
yeah.
It's Bud Light with Clamato
Yeah.
and some lime.
Yeah.
It's a little ghetto. I mean,
that's when you're jonesing.
it's not. It scratches the itch. Let's just say, right? But it's not. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
If that's not a resounding
Oh
endorsement for
my God, we're not gonna judge you. We won't judge you.
much like flavored cigars. Sometimes I crave a
Yeah.
Bud Light Chelada.
Yeah,
and they don't carry it. Like the liquor store I bought it in, they only had it in the refrigerator that they keep usually near the register. That has the selection.
they're trying to dump 'em.
No, but it has the select. It's like a refrigerator that they must have gotten from like Budweiser,
Yeah.
and it has all big tall cans in it. But it has the mechanism so they load them in. It's like spring loaded. So when you take one,
gotcha.
they kind of pop up from the
Like
bottom.
a candy machine.
I went in the store the other day, and I took the can out, and it was the last can. And I'm like, you guys have like any more of this? Can I like buy like case of it? Like, no, that's all we have. And I'm like, I must be the only one that.
Yeah, you drank them all.
I drank them all. And that was it. So I have one in my fridge, and I'm like, I don't want to drink it because
in the liquor
if I'm
store,
at
like, we're
home-
not buying anymore because Paul's the only one who drinks them.
Right. If I'm at home and I have a light beer, I'm like, oh, I can just make one. Like I have,
Yeah.
a case of tomato juice usually on hand for Bloody Marys, and I just mix some of the spices in with it and put over ice, and it's good. They're very filling though, and they don't really go that well with cigars. Not really.
Narragansett Michelada. I'm on.
Narragansett Michelada. Give it. I did it. I was like, this is actually really good.
I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah. I don't make Condesa makes the best ones down the street. Mexican place down the street.
Yeah.
Hands down. Best Michelada.
Nice.
Yep.
Alrighty. Where else we want to go from here? Glass top humidors.
I was just looking
Do we
at
need
that
a whole
article.
guide for glass top humidors though?
They have
I
a
don't-
guide?
There's a whole guide.
Oh, wow.
Essential guide to choosing and setting up your glass top humidor.
Don't do it.
Oh,
Next
How does that
question.
differ from
all I know is I had a glass top humidor, and I had to go out and buy restaurant grade silicone.
Yes.
Because the fucker could not keep humidity at all.
yeah, totally. Yeah,
I ended up sealing the whole thing with restaurant grade.
'Cause they
it's
all
like
kinda-
vegetable based, I think.
A lot of the models they have in
Silicone,
here
because
just
holy
look,
crap.
they look kind of cheesy.
Yeah. Right.
They look like cheaper and I mean, if that's what you can afford, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
but you get into a cheaper desktop humidor like that,
Right.
you're going to be fighting it
Yeah.
the entire time.
But that's why I did what I did, and then after that it held.
Yeah.
But I had to retrofit it. I had to get aftermarket parts to make it work.
Oh yeah.
you had to get silicone
I
and
had to
seal
get
it.
I went and bought restaurant grade silicone and just sealed the whole seam of where the glass was.
Right.
Then it held fine.
Cover that with a blanket and move on.
But then you can't see your cigars in the
You don't get to see 'em.
humidor. I want to be able to see them.
You can see
Just,
it.
just
Open
like,
the
just like,
box.
screw that. That's too much work. Cut it and smoke it.
Okay. Like seriously, dude. Like I hear you. That's, yeah. Because
I mean, advantage is you can look at them and see if there's mold without opening the humidor. But I mean, you could always just open your humidor as well.
Well, that's why you have big
you know
glass
what I-
front cabinets.
well, you know what I think it is. With the glass front cabinets, you got to remember the humidification process is coming from like an apparatus, cigar oasis, one of those. It's electrical. It's going there. The glass top humidors is either your beads, your Bovita, the solution, the polyglycol solution there, and it's like it's just not enough oomph to keep it humidified because it's leaking out the side.
It's a larger area too, which I think really helps. You know, trying to keep a small area at this constant temperature and humidity means any change that you make is going to have a drastic effect. Sure. Whereas if I put a whole bunch of beads inside the cabinet, like there's a huge cabinet, but if I put a bunch of beads in a little humidor, it's going to humidify them really, really fast. Yeah. So it's physics at that point.
Yeah, I mean, if the question on the table is would I ever buy one again? The answer is no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because of that issue.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
I just like having the big cabinets. If I was going to buy another one, it would be one of the Frigidor things that you got.
Yeah.
Those things are cool.
Nice.
I like those.
Yeah, the cooler door.
But then, I got then there's the cabinets.
Right.
Two of mine have glass, one does not.
Right. They're
One
making
is
some
solid
really
front.
freaking cool, like, cooler doors. Like,
They are. It's really
oh my
taking
God,
off.
1,200 count. Who's that other big company? Is it Reich? I think it's Reich. They make a really cool one, too. Really high end.
I agree with All Out of Bubblegum on our chat. Glass top humidors sound like too much work.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, yep,
Dead on.
That's spot on.
Unless you're in the business of going out and finding restaurant grade silicone
I
and make
mean,
that freaking
restaurant
thing
grade
work.
silicone and doing that, like,
I won't buy one again.
good to go.
All right. That's glass top humidors here on the Stogie Geek Show.
Easy. Don't do
That's
it.
like,
Padron Black number 52.
Yeah.
I think did I smoke a Padron Black?
Now that came out. Came out in like a CRA pack.
Yeah,
right?
they've produced this cigar. It's one of their like really special every once in a while kind of releases. Now this one says all the releases have come out in the CRA pack that you can buy. So previous in 2019 they did one.
Yeah. But they have a 2022 Freedom Sampler that's in.
I don't know that I've smoked one of these before. But it's like they're super, like you don't get anything about the blend or cigar or anything like that. You get the size. This one in the spring 2022 Cigar Rights of America sample pack.
Yep.
which
Oh, it actually says you can get the Padron Black number 52 or the God of Fire Serie Anniversario 56. So I guess it's one or the other in that pack.
I mean,
Sounds like.
the Padron Black didn't get a great review from Half Wheel. It got an 87. But, that's kind of interesting. But I don't know if I had to pick, like, the larger ring gauge God of Fires, really, I'm not digging them. I like the Robusto.
Yeah.
In that particular series the best. So I would want to try the Padron Black number 52. The sample set is $149 rather.
Right. Now that Freedom Sampler has a Rocky Patel 50th anniversary Toro. I've never had good luck with Rocky Patel cigars. Enjoying them.
There's some gems in that line.
Yeah. You have to let me know. I've never tried one then.
The ones that I've really liked, like either they don't make anymore or like Rocky just puts out new cigars. But there's some really good cigars in his line
that you can find right now.
Well, the problem is finding. Most shops will carry Rocky's more traditional lines because they sell well to a certain section or group of cigar smokers, and those typically aren't the ones that I like to smoke. I think Rocky does make a few like really good cigars that are more tailored to the cigar geek and Stogie Geek. He had a Super Ligero Lancero that was friggin' amazing, and I haven't been able to find it since then.
Next time you're in Newport, stop by Breakwater. They got some of the higher end Rockies.
Okay.
Anniversary. I don't know if it's a 50, but it's some anniversary.
There's another anniversary that's good. I forget which one.
And then they have like a white band one and a 60, and they're in that $22 price range.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right,
and it's like, they're not bad, but like,
for the price.
When you're at $26, $25,
buy a Padron Davidoff.
Buy a Padron Davidoff. Like, you know what I mean? Like you economics, you price yourself out of the water, right? Because who's category king in the $20 arena stick? Padron and Davidoff, right? I mean, but
if anyone has Rocky Patel Super Ligero Lanceros, let me know.
Super
it was this Rocky Patel Super Ligero. I don't think he makes them anymore.
2016.
It could have been, yeah.
That's got to be 2016 superhero like that. Cool. Well,
I don't think he makes them anymore. Does he?
Well, if you have them, email Paul at StogieGeeks.com and
send him 3.
He'll give you his credit card number or the Stogie Geeks credit card number. There you go. So if you're retail shopping, they're sitting down there. There you go.
We'll buy 3 at least.
No, I go buy 3. Paul be like, call him how many you got left.
I'll buy them all.
Buy them all.
Here it is, dude. October 2014. Half Wheel had a post Rocky Patel shipping Decade Cameroon and Super Ligero. Oh, in the picture they have on Half Wheel's site is of a box of Super Ligero Lanceros. Talk about a tease. Damn it.
Yeah. That's one thing I find out about Rocky. Like, if you really into him and you really like Product X, you might not be around for 5 years.
Yeah.
And and there's been a couple of staples like the Decade, but even has changed with its lackluster in my opinion. But I did have a Decade about 2 weeks ago. I was like,
Did you?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna rock one of these again. I'm like, they're not what they were, but that's cool.
So what are you on for your second stick there, Paul? Because I'm about to break into mine, and I got the Rojas KSG, and I actually have a Jaji Bobby. Have you ever had one of those, Joe?
Jaji, can I see
Jaji Bobby. El Ingeniero.
Is that is that PCA thing? What is that?
No. This is his own company. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you had one of these?
I've had one before.
Oh, cool.
Just
I'll let you know how this one tastes.
You want it? You can have it. You can have it.
If you Google for Rocky Patel Super Ligero, the first Google result you get is Cigars International, and when you visit the page, it says this item is no longer available for purchase.
Of course.
So I did finish the RC. What was that? The RC series. What was the exact? Was there a number on the RC?
This one, the one we just smoked, number 1.
It's a RC series number one. I thought it was really good.
Yeah,
I'd say box split with a friend would be my rating for it. I think that sourness in the first third will probably age out.
Yep.
In maybe I'd check back in a few months and see if that changes, because typically I've found, I don't know if there's any fact or science behind this, but I found the first third of the cigar will be the part that changes most with age, which is interesting because, like, if you smoke an original Opus X from 1999 or whatever. Like even like the half of the first third or whatever, like the first part of that cigar is like knock your socks off, freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And then the rest kind of like, like then it ends. It's like,
If you dug to the bottom of one of your shelves, would you have
you just
like a
keep
couple of those?
Yeah. No, I've smoked. I don't even think I had one. I think someone else might have shared one with me or given me one, and we smoked it together. Because the rest of the time you're smoking it going, I hope that comes back. I hope that comes back, and it doesn't come back. Yeah. So, but that first third will typically, like, if it's kind of harsh, when if you put them down, like that harshness may go away. Now, age isn't going to make a cigar better. It's going to change and bring out the flavors more, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So I would age that for a couple more months and then revisit at a later time. So, but the rest of the cigar was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good.
It had some strength to it, so. I think it could benefit
that
from
white pepper on the back end.
But I liked it. I thought it was, and it was. You know what I liked about it too was different. I got some of those notes from the original series, but it was different.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Jaji, El Ingeniero.
Well, what's up?
So
with
it's
that?
Dominican Puro, out of Kellner Factory in Dominican Republic. 5x50, and I mean it's.
What'd you get though?
Fairly new. I probably got this one on
stickchaser.com.
Yeah, stickchaser.com.
No, is it seriously like a stick chaser? That's not like a.
No, you can get these. You can
Okay.
get these. Yeah, you can totally get these. Maybe I got these on Small Batch Cigar.
There you go.
Maybe something like that, or Sir Louis or something like that.
Sir Louis.
Yeah,
I like it. Never even. I'm like, what is that?
yeah, they're not bad. They're not bad at all.
Stickchaser.com.
Stickchaser.com.
Stickchasers.com.
Stickchaser Albuquerque.
I lit up in a Quesada Oktoberfest short Robusto.
Yeah, that's good.
This one's pretty old too.
Is it aged out or?
When did these come out?
Quesada Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
20. I'm gonna go 20.
All right, Rain Man, come on, kick it.
15 is my final answer.
You think so?
Yeah, 2015.
All right.
Fact check it.
Talk about that while I fact check it.
So what is that? You've had one of those before?
I've had it. Yeah, I've had this one. I've had El Ingeniero.
Is it all right or is it good?
It's all right. It's good. It's good. I mean, yeah.
Like, do you wake up in the morning and say, I
no.
feel like that?
No.
Yeah, see, that's
no. Definitely not.
But Paul, I agree with your box split with a friend with these tatuajes that we're smoking, for sure. It's a solid rating right there, for sure.
It's hard to figure out when this one was released because this is the original release.
No.
The original release. That's not the band either. They did a 1974 Quesada Lancero. That's not Oktoberfest. Good Lord. Good Lord. That's going to be... Talk about something else while I look this up.
Well, I'll tell you, it's so crazy the difference in the draw. Like, this is a very tight draw coming from that RC number 1. Wow.
Now we're trying to figure out when the original Quesada Oktoberfest came out.
Yeah, I know.
That's all the new bands because they rebanded it. The band looks different. This is the older band.
I'm trusting my stuff and saying 2015.
You think 2015?
Yeah.
So are you guys excited to try the Legend cigar?
Hold on.
The Patron Fuente?
10th anniversary.
Oh, he's got it.
Back in 2021, Quesada Cigars introduced the Quesada Oktoberfest line.
That's not it.
No, 2011.
2011.
I'm sorry. I said 21. I'm reading 2011.
2011.
2011.
Is
Wow.
it 2011? Yeah.
Damn. Time flies when you have fun. So the 10th anniversary was obviously in 2021. This is on Cigar Coop.
I'm curious to see when this cigar was released that I'm smoking because I don't remember the name of it. There's a name for the side. It's not a. Is it a Bavarian?
Yeah,
it's a short Robusto.
It's Bavarian. Bavarin. Bavarian.
Was that the short Robusto? Because they had a Robusto.
Totally derailed the show.
Short Robusto was a 4x50.
Bavarian was 5.5 by 52. Is that about the size? 5.5
No, this was a short Robusto.
We had an Uber, which is not 6 by 65. And then you had the Das Boot, which is 6x50.
The 40th
Das
anniversary.
Boot.
The 40th anniversary short Robusto. That was a friggin' awesome cigar. España. Yeah, those were good. Good luck finding those anymore. Sorry to talk about a cigar you can't really buy. I don't think you can buy these either, because this was a Oktoberfest short Robusto with the old band on it, which I can't even remember. You know what? If we go to StogieGeeks.com, which I'm gonna fix. I know there's a lot of.
Yeah, it looks like 2011. That's crazy.
All right, talk about something else while I Google
I was
search
way
this.
off on that.
Go to another article.
Jason, give me one of your
Start
articles.
talking.
What are you doing?
Yeah, Jason, talk about an article.
Yeah, well, let's see. What did I have?
What did Jason have? Michigan governor signed a bill. Oh,
Yeah,
this
we
is-
talked about that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, La Flor Dominicana doing NFTs, guys.
Yeah, what's up with that?
So they're getting into the NFT game, right? And obviously with Techie Geeks, we're all about that. So they have their cigar. They're calling it the Golden Bull NFT auction, and they're releasing this Andalusian Bull cigar. And what ends up happening is that 7 people will get the NFT once they auction it off, and they get the right to buy 70 of these cigars per month as long as they own the NFT. And they're limited edition cigars. So it's kind of crazy to see cigar companies now getting into that NFT space.
What do you think that's going to go for?
I don't know. They said the price is TBD.
Yeah, that's because you got the NFT aspect of it.
That's right.
But then you also
they're
have
looking at the
you can
market,
order,
right?
And it's also a different size of the bowl as well. So which I've often wondered why they didn't expand that line and change the sizes up.
Yeah, my guess is this is a Bavarian from 2011, released in 2011.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's crazy.
I hid these in my humidor. I hid them
sure
for
you
myself.
Hit them really
I
well.
just found them. I'm
You had to
like,
go dig.
holy crap! This is not aged out either. This is actually really good.
Is it? Nice. Nice. So yeah, NFTs in the cigar world, baby.
NFTs are everywhere.
That's pretty wild. But yeah, you get the right to buy 70 of these cigars a month. You can resell the digital asset too.
Oh no, wait, no, this is a Kurz. This is a Kurz 4x50 Rothschild. That's what this is. Sorry.
Same year.
Same year.
Cool.
Same year. We posted a review in 2013.
Wow.
So this size may have come out after 2011.
Oh.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah, so probably 10 years. I've sat on this for 10 years?
I hear you say that a lot though.
Yeah, but you
say
said on
that
that
a lot,
Padron,
bro.
you just handed him for 10. What?
Yeah,
That was 11. I
2012.
thought you said
That
this
was
was
20,
11.
no, it's 2012.
2012.
2012.
Dude.
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah.
I think it was the last time Conor McGregor won a fight anyway.
Fuck, I should have smoked this.
You should have. I bought a lot of cigars in that time frame. Although some of them suck, so I mean, there is that. 10 years doesn't make a sucky cigar any better, really. Oh, what is this? No, let's talk about Fuente and Padron.
Yeah.
Apparently, this was like a long-awaited
Drop, yeah.
rumor-ish kind of thing. So this is supposed to be, because like they say in the article that no one can buy them. No, we don't have any price, and we don't have a release date. We have like no information. There was no one smoking them other than Jorge Padron. Was seen smoking the Arturo Fuente made cigar and had positive things to say about it. Like, why would he say it sucks, right? Like they just did a collaborate. So that's not really a great measure. So we don't know what the price is going to be. We don't know when it's going to be released. We don't know when we're going to be able to smoke them. We don't even know. We don't know when you're going to be able to, like a retailer doesn't know when they're going to be able to buy them. Like they didn't announce to the retailers when they weren't taking orders and didn't say when they would be able to be purchased.
Sounds about right.
So we know nothing. I mean, this is par for the course at this point.
Welcome to the industry.
But this is the collab effort of Jorge Padron making a cigar in honor of.
But it's not a collaboration. Like
It's in honor of each other.
Right.
yes, but it's not.
But they're putting them both in one box.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
It's not a.
That's what I meant by
we
a collab.
blended a cigar
Yeah,
together, and you get an Arturo Fuente Padron limited edition anniversary
Right.
collaboration.
Yeah.
No, this is 10 Fuente cigars, 10 Padron
right.
cigars made in honor
of each other's
each other.
Each other's
Yes,
fathers.
of the fathers. Right.
Right.
Yep.
The packaging is a collaboration.
It's a cool
Right.
concept. I mean,
it's cool looking.
It is.
Cool looking box and
Really?
everything. Cool
hey,
looking
got this
cigars.
product.
Like,
Don't know when we're gonna sell it.
don't know how
when you
much.
can buy it. Don't know how much it's gonna be. But
Maybe you need NFTs to get it.
Let me know.
crazy.
Let me know.
Can't wait to see that price.
It's crazy. The bands they put on them are really cool too. Really cool. I'd love to smoke one. Apparently, the only person they saw smoking one was Jorge Padron, which is pretty funny actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Fuente ones have the cedar sleeve on them. Anyway, maybe someday.
The untouchable.
The Untouchable. It's like a Padron Millennium Edition.
Right.
You'll never be able to smoke them when they first come out unless you have a time machine. That's apparently when they were best. And people say it's the best cigar they've ever smoked. And I managed to get one, but it was 12 plus years after it was, well, Millennium Edition implies it came out in 2000. So by the time I smoked it, was at least 12 years later, and they just weren't as good. I mean, it was still good, don't get me wrong, but they said when those came out, those were freaking amazing. They reminded me of the Millennium Edition.
Yeah.
Just didn't have much of a unicorn. It really is. I wanted to talk about something else that was in here that we hadn't talked about yet, and then I got excited. Matt Booth, so like Matt is working with General Cigar, and they're re-releasing the Sancho Panza line. They brought new life to the Sancho Panza brand, a complete rebrand and reblend. Like I'm like, okay, when I read rebrand, I'm like, whatever, you can put lipstick on a pig. And Sancho Panza cigars are like...
Never had one.
Yeah, General Cigar, they're rebranded. And most of the rebranded Cuban stuff is what you see in the liquor store when you go buy a cigar and they've got a case of stuff. And they're not bad cigars, right? But they're not... A lot of the stuff we're smoking now that has multiple complex blends are your more traditional style cigars. So Sancho Panza, like I smoked a few, wasn't overly impressed. But the fact that Matt Booth now has been involved with the reblending experience, I think is really interesting.
Yeah. Will it add value to it?
Well, the reblend.
Reblend, that's what I'm saying.
The reblend. I'm curious to smoke this now. See what they came up with.
Yeah.
I think it will. I mean, I think Sancho Panza, when it was around, making it up, probably late '90s, early 2000s. You know, it was an average stick, average cost.
Right.
You know, they were $5.25 when everything else was $7.
They're between $6.69, $7.59 for the what they call the original. You ready for the blend breakdown? Filler consisting of Dominican, Nicaraguan, and Brazilian Mata Fina with a Mexican San Andreas binder. The wrapper is a Honduran grown Connecticut. So that's the blend. That one will be 3 sizes: 5x50, 6.5x52, and a 6x60. I want to try it.
I think it'll be good.
You think so?
It might not be like well sought after, but I think it'll be a good boost to what the older brand and blend was.
I've had some of the older Cuban Sancho Panza.
Yeah, it's night and day. But yeah, you know, like I said, Sancho Panza, like you smoked them, they were convenient sticks.
Yep.
You know, you're fishing, doing that back in the day, and you know, you picked up a couple. They were a good second stick if you were having a 2-stick day or 3-stick day, stuff like that.
Isn't that every day?
Well, that is, but some people don't have that luxury. But
like coworkers are like, you always have a cigar? I'm like, no. Usually when I'm on a meeting, that's when I'll light up a cigar.
Yes.
Like when I'm working, and especially now that I'm working from home for whatever reason, I'll light up a cigar and I'll put it down in the ashtray. And then like I get working and get engrossed in what I'm working with, and I'm like, oh, forgot about that cigar I had there. But when you're on a meeting, you're meeting, so I'm usually smoking.
Yeah.
Do you have any other stories, Jason?
No, I wanted to talk about that. You had another PCA 2022 article, the Ellie Blue Humidor. That's another one of those big, expensive humidors that they're releasing. But they're gorgeous. But big money, man. Big money humidors. That was in...
Yeah, I like the kind of breakdown from the PCA show that Half Wheel did. Like each one of the authors
did their own
like top 3 things. And like that's really... Because like so many of the articles that came out recently were about the PCA show.
Yep.
And there's walkthroughs of everyone's booth. There's announcements from every manufacturer.
Right.
And it's overwhelming. What I want to know is if you went to the show, like give me your top 3 either things or takeaways from the show, right? And
Yep.
so, Brooks was like the Cigar Medics thing, Highclere Castle, and Moss Ingenious,
Yeah.
which I wasn't familiar with, was another cigar line that he took a picture of, right? So that was Brooks, and Charlie had like a different take, right? He is the one that talked about the Fuente and Padron Legends.
Yep. And that's that Boveda 25th anniversary humidor.
Wow, is that thing gorgeous, huh?
Right, dude?
Wow, do you get
Does
a
it have
picture
a price?
of the inside?
Does it have a price? Hold on.
I didn't see a picture of the inside either.
Because it is beautiful.
It is, right? I also like the way you can zoom in on images on Half Wheel site. And then you get like a little slider of all the images that are in the post. I'm going to have to steal some code. I don't know what they're doing, fella. I like that. I like that. I'm like, hey, that's really cool.
Yeah. It's a beautiful humidor, though.
I don't see the inside of it, though.
No.
I guess the outside is the ornate piece, right?
Does it have a price in there?
Pricing and release dates are still unknown.
But of course.
But of course.
But
Then he
of
talks
course.
about Ashton's new booth. And like there was anything in the cigar industry I could care less about.
It's a booth.
It's what people's booths look like. I don't do we talk about that in cybersecurity maybe because
If we're doing trade shows, maybe.
it would
But that's like a compare and
we'll
contrast.
talk about if we saw something cool at the trade show, like they had this whole arcade system
Like
set up in
memorable,
these
though.
big,
It's gotta be big and
it's
memorable.
big and memorable, right? Like they had a DeLorean and the actual replica of the DeLorean from Back to the Future in one of the booths, and you get to sit and like that was cool.
Yep.
But we don't talk about like, I wonder what their booth's gonna look like next year.
Right.
And like they were talking about that about another booth. They were like, this booth is from this manufacturer, and it's the same booth they've had for this many years. And then next year they say they're gonna have a new booth, and like we're like really curious to see what it's gonna look like next year. I'm like, I could give two
Yeah,
shits what
seriously.
what it looks like, right? Like,
Right.
I don't think we really do that. In
No.
cybersecurity.
No, not really. It's got to be something big and memorable.
Because it's market. Like, tell me about your cigars. I don't know.
Exactly,
Whatever
yeah.
your booth looks like is
Tell
like
me about
whatever.
the product.
Yeah.
100%.
So I didn't get that kind of aspect.
One thing I am disappointed about, guys, is that remember that Cypher 3311 we were talking about? That cigar that was going to come out? It's still. They said it was going to release by the end of this month.
Still hasn't.
What do you got? Another couple days at the end of the month? Still haven't seen it. I've been stick chasing that one. Can't find it. Not for sale yet. I already have hit up a few shops that carry that Castigli line, and they told me they would let me know as soon as they arrive.
Because that's one I want.
Yeah,
Regardless if it sucks or not,
Yep.
I want it.
want it.
Because it's awesome.
One of each kind too.
Yes.
I think they're 4. I think is what they had. 4 different lines.
Right.
Yeah.
And save the box.
Yep.
In the bands or
100%.
something like
100%.
that. That'd be really cool to like have on set or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, hasn't released yet, so a little disappointed in that.
Yeah. Well, that happens.
Yep.
So what did you light up again, Jason?
This is a Jaji Bobby from the Kellner Dominican factory.
Is that produced by Davidoff, like Kellner?
Kellner from Davidoff, yeah,
Right.
that factory, but it's not produced by, I don't know who the owner is. I can look it up, but yeah, these aren't bad. These are a newer cigar brand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I dig it. Not bad.
Nice. Joe, what'd you light up? You already took the bands off.
The LFD.
Oh, that LFD. Yeah. What do you think
Oh,
of
this
that?
is from
you
like
just-
1965.
Yeah.
My uncle gave this to me in 1965. I took it out
I
of my
found it
humidor.
at the bottom of my humidor.
Yeah.
Fuck. Now back to the Googles. Factory Press 4. Factory Press 4.
That's had to be LFD back in the day. I'm going toward.
What's your guess?
16.
Oh, boy.
No.
2016.
Earlier than that.
Really? Man.
Well, it was reviewed in December of 2011.
Ooh.
Yes. This comes in the giant cabinet of cigars. Like there's 100 cigars? 100 cigar cabinet. And each one of the cigars is factory pressed, right, by the name, and it fits in this like mold. They almost like ship them in the press molds in a cabinet of 100 cigars.
Oh yeah.
Right?
It's that old?
This review from
Yeah,
Coop
2011
was 2011. He doesn't mention like the initial release, cigars of series and cigar enthusiasts. It doesn't mention. Let's see if I can find another.
So is this from 2011?
Factory press. Oh, here we go. 2011. Yep.
Wow.
Factory press 4 is a 6.5 by 60. Believe it or not, that's a 60 ring gauge.
Yeah, but it's pressed. Yep.
And it was released in 2011.
Wow.
It was I had some of the 2s. I had some of the 3s. The 3s have all smoked. That was 2008. I could look because the 3s look exactly like the 4s, except just the band is different. So the 3s were a 6.25 by 58, and the 4s are a 6.5 by 60. But they look identical. When you have them in your humidor, they look identical. And so the 3s are really good. The 2s had like this pluminess all over them at one time. That Joyles found it in their humidor, and they were amazing. They were like smoking a candy bar. Like they were just full of flavor. It was awesome. And so that's why I bought the 3s and 4s, was because the 2s were just amazing. I don't know if they still make these. Have they been producing factory presses? It looks like in 2017 they stopped. That's what Half Wheel says.
It was I'm trying to think of the name. That kind of, I don't want to say they copied LFD, but they had that wooden frame. Because now I remember them in the humidor. They would come out. You could pull them up by row. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? In the humidor. And you kind of poke them out. Mm-hmm. And that's how they were there. I want to say JT something or other. Thompson, maybe I don't know. But yeah, they were like that. And man, that was 2011. That's crazy.
I don't think they made them after the 4. Which is a shame, because I liked that. It was a cool concept, to have that whole cab of 100. And they take it and they put it on the counter, and the thing is just like massive.
Yep. There's also a box that Lito Gomez makes for his cabinet blend that's like that. It's not in the rows, but it's just a big box.
Right.
And that's a
those are those small little. I had a box.
That's
in there.
That's a good find too.
I like those too.
Yeah. I don't know if it was a box of 50 or whatever.
We got to bring back the factory press line now, LFD.
Yeah.
How is it so far? Is it good?
It's good. It's a little aged out, but is this supposed to be double a hero too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, now you're gonna ask me that.
This is if it is, it's a little aged out, but it's it's always good to rekindle. You stick chase yourself naturally, right? Sometimes, right? Let me try new, and you go back to some of the classic staples, but at least when I walk in, what's new, what's going on? You know what I mean? It's like
it is a Mexican wrapper, Ecuadorian binder, and Dominican filler. That's all it says. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I just put a link to the Jaji Bobby on
Jaji Bobby Raji?
Jaji Bobby Raji. Well, to that point, that's why I try new boutique brands. I'll just go out and buy some and try them, right?
Right.
I want to try new stuff, so that's why I tried these guys, and they're not bad at all.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What are we going to do next month?
Oh, boy.
Next month's August. We're
August, yeah.
August.
I still want to do the Porrito deal, the Rojas Porritos. That's something that
could be a long show.
Yeah, we just got to make sure we have nowhere to go after.
Do we have enough of those, Joe, to do a whole show on them next month? Can we smoke that blender kit?
Yeah, if you get a blender kit, it comes with 3. Ironically,
do we have one though? Or do we have to go buy one?
It was next door.
They do sell them next door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they comes with 3.
And which one is that?
See, the problem is logistically speaking, after your 3rd round, so after an hour and a half,
yes,
you got 1, 2, 3.
Your palate's tired.
Wait, you got 9 sections to go through.
Oh, we wouldn't get through all
so
9.
you wouldn't
do that
with accurate. Now I've taken the liberty to make sure that whenever I've had it, I did it on an every other day basis. First stick of the day, same time when I came in here to work.
Right.
So I came in here to work. First stick of the day, every other day. It took me like 18 days to go through it, and I diligently wrote notes and did that. So I could accurately describe it from how I had it then, but like to do a show with that,
We did one with the La Aurora one.
Well, that was different because there was only 4 blends.
There's less blends.
There's less,
Right.
but there's less blends to kind of go through, and then you did that. And I remember doing the La Aurora individually when I started Stogie Geeks too.
Right.
And it came out differently than on show.
Because we did them back to back.
Well, because if you're by yourself and you're smoking and you take your little notes, and you keep your notes the same. So however you did it, like I always did it, and I just did like I did check minus, check, or check plus, or check plus plus. So these
Do
are
they
the
still
ones.
have the LFT kits next door?
Ooh, I don't know. Those have been there since they opened.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But, show wise, we probably would have to do it in shorts.
Yeah.
Like, let's smoke
Well,
two.
it's going to be August and hot, so I'm going to wear shorts.
No, what I'm saying is maybe you start it in August and like we smoke two,
No, I
and then
understand.
we record it and then let it go, and then smoke two again on another date, and then smoke two, and then play it as an episode.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Okay, yeah. I'm just trying to logistically think how we could
Just
pull
cut it
that
and
off.
smoke it.
I mean, we've been known to do 5-hour, 46-minute
It'd
episodes.
make a great T-shirt.
Just
cut it and smoke it. Joe's picture, Stogie
Joe
Geeks on
Hollywood.
there. Yeah.
Right?
Quote from Joe Hollywood.
To get those bands, those little
Just
plastic
cut it and
bands you
smoke
sell.
it. Well, so all right. So what brands haven't we smoked on the show in a while? We've done Cuban Day. We've done Tatuaje a couple of times. We've done Fuente a couple of times.
Right.
We've done, what else have we done?
Next month, Davidoff.
We've done Davidoff, though.
We have?
Yeah, we did a Davy Day.
Can we do it again?
Yeah, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, I know, but I'm
Patron.
It's
you know
not-
what we should do?
We haven't done a Padron.
You know what we should do? We should friggin' splurge and get the
50.
50th day of the 50.
The 50.
The 50.
Where do you get that?
Mr. J's has them.
Oh, okay.
Now, don't go buying them all because we need
Yes,
to buy
stop.
them. We need to buy at least 3, and whoever
Right,
else
right.
comes on the show that day.
All right, I'm game to
then
do
at least
that.
5.
Let's do the
But what
50.
are those, like $50 a piece?
I think so, yeah.
It'd be an expensive show.
We better have good drinks on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, let's choose ridiculous cigars to smoke on the show.
I'm in. I like it.
All right, next month that's what we're doing.
All right, we'll do that for the next show. I like it.
I'll pick them up.
That's
How many do
down.
we need though? Do we need more than 3? What if Doug and Bill? Better get 4.
Yeah,
5.
just in case.
5 just in case.
Yeah, and then, yeah.
you put a release on that every host. Can I come back?
Yeah,
right.
host lining up outside the door. I want to be a host this week.
Can I get my email back too? It'd be awesome.
What's the busiest Friday in August? So only the 3 of us show up.
All right, so lock it in next month. Padron 50.
Padron 50. Oh, baby.
Padron 50.
All right.
That'll be good.
Natural,
it.
natural Maduro, or does it matter? I heard the natural is actually friggin' smoking awesome.
Yeah, let's do the natural then.
All right.
I'm game.
I'll see. I'll make sure they've got. Hopefully, they got 5 left.
Right.
Hope so.
Right.
If not, we'll be on a wild goose chase.
That's right. Now we said we're gonna do it.
Wait a minute. We?
Jason, they ran out.
Jason-
Go stick
Jason
Jays.
will be-
He says the proverbial we, Joe
Well, you know,
Hollywood.
I'm speaking French. You know what I mean?
We means him.
What are you gonna do?
Well, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Thanks everyone for listening and watching to this edition of the Stogie Geek Show. We'll see everyone next time.